How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. This is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards and trans rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that shit, get the fuck off this channel. This is Iron Fist, Season 1, Episode 6, Immortal Emerges from Cave. Quite the episode title. I don't know what to... I mean, I have a very strong guess that it could just be a whole flashback thing. And the leaving the cave is the leaving Kunlun. Of course, all these titles are not exactly literal and all that, but still, we're doing our guess. I think it is going to be partial. Like, I think it's going to be... Some of the episode's going to be flashback, and some of it's going to be actual fighting and stuff like that. As we know, he has a clear head when he fights and everything, but it does seem like some of his memories come back through fighting as well and everything. So... that is my guess. Through the fighting, we're going to get more flashbacks of a little bit clearer of why he left when he did. And so we have so much questions about Kunlun, so unbelievably much questions. Let's get them all answered. Get at least some answered. That's my guess. Okay, we are talking about Iron Fist, Episode 6, correct? Yeah, Episode 6.
Immortal emerges from cave.
Yeah. This is going to be a very easy episode to talk about because it's kind of just all following one plot line throughout the whole episode.
Yeah.
Like, we're cutting back forth between Ward and Danny, but they start out the same, you know, and then we go and split up between them, and it's very, very similar.
Yeah.
So, this felt like the most comic-y episode of all the Netflix series so far.
Oh, yeah.
You would agree?
I would.
Okay. Like, yeah, I think it really felt like they were like, we don't want to do a big plot line of Iron Fist, I feel like. I feel like this season is a maybe Daredevil plot line they're doing in Iron Fist or something, you know, I don't know. Like, the whole Herald thing, like, how much of this is even in the comics? I have no idea.
I will say, like, a lot of the Harold and Danny being at odds stuff is from the comics.
Okay. So, like, yeah, is, like, Ward in the comics as well and all that? Okay. I wasn't sure if they were even going to be in the comics or they were going to be show original characters or what.
Like, I don't know much about them, but I do know that, like, a lot of the early stuff in the comics is the, like, you know, Danny versus the Meachums, or, you know, Danny having a relationship with the Meachums in some way.
Okay.
It gets complicated.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like the hand stuff goes, and I mean maybe that is still connected and everything, but I don't know, coming from, you know, as someone who has not read any of the comics or anything like that, it certainly feels like this season, or this episode was we don't want to have a lot of comic villains in this, so we're going to be doing, shoving them all into one episode, like a tournament style thing, and then get them out of the way.
I think it's also, like, this one shocked me. This episode was guest directed by RZA.
Who?
From the Wu-Tang Clan, RZA.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
This episode.
Which, I think that also plays into it, because the Wu-Tang Clan love comic books.
Yeah.
Like, / martial arts stuff. So it made sense, and this felt like very, like, martial arts movie / very, very comic booky.
You're right, actually. I feel that is fitting, more so than something like Luke Cage. Yeah, but I mean, even with Iron Fist, I feel like there would have been better episodes to do though than this episode. But I can also see why they would have won. I'm just sorry. Was it directed anything else?
Not in like the MCU.
Well, I mean, just in anything else?
2 years before this, he did direct a movie called The Man with the Iron Fists.
Oh, okay.
Where he was the man with the iron fists.
Oh, was it like how did that work? I mean, is it Danny Rand?
No.
Okay.
It is like not connected.
Gotcha. But now I can see why they hired him for this. If he did something called The Man with Iron Fists, and then I mean, was that supposed to be referencing, you know?
It seems like it was supposed to be more of a like, it's more of like 80s martial artsy than specifically Iron Fists. But they both do draw from the, like, you know, the martial arts, like. What is the term for that? Like the Hong Kong flick aesthetic.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the term for that is. Can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So that is interesting to note. But yeah, so it really felt like we were, you know, doing a lot of comic related stuff in this episode. So first off, first two guys. Chumps. No, I don't really care about them at all. Random chumps.
Not from the comics at all.
Okay, there was two random people.
Just two random people.
They felt like the hand got two actual chefs to fight fucking Danny. That was nothing. I was so hyped for that, and it was so lame.
Yeah, I feel like before anything else, we do have to point out how, like, the random hand assassins from Daredevil feel like they're on a completely different level than even, like, the final guy that's Danny fights here.
Oh, yeah. The child soldier they fought in Daredevil was more impressive than any of these people.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that Danny is that impressive. It is this, like, weird, you know, because we want to have all the actors here, especially even in this, they wanted to have all those actors for each of the hand people in the fight. And so the fights are, you know, less, they look less skilled. They look less overpowered and everything. So yeah, these ninjas feel a lot less like ninjas and a lot more like people punching people.
Yeah.
Like, that last guy did not feel like he had, like, it did not feel like he was worthy of the setup from the beginning. Like, it was still cool. Same with the Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman was really, I think Spider-Woman was my favorite part.
Yeah. Like, she had the most, like, they all had this, like, more so than being fighters, they were also trying to, like, get into his head. They were trying to fuck with him.
Yeah.
And I think the Spider-Woman did the best job of that.
But yeah, the last guy and the first two were terrible. The last guy was an interesting fight. It just was not nearly as interesting or as threatening as they were building it up to be. Same with the whole episode. The whole episode, I feel like they were building this up a lot more than... I did not feel like Danny was really in a bind here, except for the Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
She was the only one who really made this worth it. But I do think it was still just so cool in a, like, seeing Danny go through this tournament and fighting these people. And they could have done it a lot better, could have executed it better, but it was fine in and of itself. Like, the only, like, one of the only other issues I have with the tournament is just, like, the poison and everything, and he just goes, huh, and then all the effects of the poison are gone as well.
Yeah.
Like, him shattering the lights because he flings all the things off and everything, that's really cool. The fact that the poison doesn't affect him at all past that point, you know.
Yeah, and it kind of takes away from what I enjoy about gauntlets like this, where it is supposed to be the main character, like, builds up all this damage, and at the very end they're barely holding on, but they're still capable of fighting the strongest person. And like, that's usually how it feels, whereas, like, this was much more of a 3 very separate things. It felt like it might have been over 3 different nights, in terms of how unaffected Danny was.
Yeah! And, like, the whole vibe of this at the beginning was super intense, and then very quickly just starts to feel like Danny is just going around to the neighborhood dojos and challenging their lowest level person. But yeah, sorry, we're ragging on this a lot, but it's a really cool idea. It's a really cool concept and everything.
Yeah, like, the episode itself is very strong.
Yeah, and yeah, I think everything leading up to it is great. I'm curious to see what we're gonna do post here. It's still hard to get into the, you know, the fights are not gonna be as intense. Like, they're gonna be interesting, but they're not gonna be as intense. And I think that's a little bit of a problem too. I think, like, the final fight and the fight with the two brothers was not as interesting location wise or you know, what they did in the fight as any of the other fights. We have said that each time the fights have furthered the plot in some way, whereas these, you know, all 3 of the fights kind of further the plot in one way. Yeah. As opposed to each of them showing a little different thing.
And I can't really tell what Madame Gao's, like, intent was with this.
Yeah.
Because, like, they kind of split the difference with the, you know, the mysterious look on her face where it's like, okay, is she, like, training Danny? Is she trying to, like, get his aggression out? Like, is this all, like, calculated? Yeah. But at the same time, like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
I don't get it either.
Yeah.
I'm curious where we're going to go forward looking back on this, if it's going to make sense then. So before we move on, do you want to give me the, like, comic trivia on those people?
Yeah. So, Spider Lady is known in the comics as the Bride of 9 Spiders.
Okay.
Her lab number has a thing on it that says, like, B-09S, which is supposed to be a callback to that.
Yeah, sure.
And, like, she's more powerful in the comics. Like, she has more of a, like, actual spider control-y thing going on.
Okay.
Like, more of a martial artist. Whereas here it seems like she is a martial artist, but also, like, she was just sort of experimenting on spiders. Like, yeah, she seems lower level.
Yeah. But I do actually like that. I like that, you know, the one person here who was not a physical fighter was the one who, you know, did the most to Danny.
Yeah.
The other guys really got one cut in, and that's it. Both first and last.
Mm-hmm. And it is a completely different sort of fight. Like, he wants to punch her, but he won't, partially because she's not physically attacking him, and she's saying, like, this doesn't have to be a fight.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know how to respond to that.
Yeah. And, like, again, he has not met anybody leading up to this, so he is, of course, being very, like, you know, manipulated by her sexually and all that.
Yeah.
You know, at the beginning. But I do appreciate it doesn't go on for, like, too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, Danny's, of course, going to get manipulated by... He gets manipulated by fucking every single person he talks to.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, someone coming on to them the first time, especially since everyone that he's talked to at this point has been he says one word to them and they're immediately like, I have dealt with a million men, I do not want to date you, this is not a date. Like, you know, having someone this strongly come on to him, like... It's much different than I get it. Normally, not a fan of it with like any other, I feel like they would do the same sort of shit with Matt, and it's like annoying as shit. But like this makes sense. I'll buy it with this.
Yeah, and she plays into the theatrics of it all a lot better. Like the two brothers, like when they walk around, make the blood circle, it's like, okay, this is an okay gimmick, but it doesn't really play into their characters at all.
Yeah.
And the final guy doesn't really like. The whole thing with all the weapons doesn't really make a lot of sense.
No.
Like, it seems like we're going to do one thing and then we go into another thing.
We just, like, leave that room and go into a boring fight.
Yeah.
Like, the fight was pretty interesting, and then we just start going boring.
Yeah.
Like, they do a couple cool things when they're in that, like, pole room area, but for the most part, not really.
Yeah, like, the way he adapts his weapons is pretty cool.
Yeah. But, yeah, they don't do enough with it for it to really feel cool.
Yeah.
Like, I have to go like, that is cool, but I don't get a reaction like, oh, whoa, you know? I'm just saying, that's cool.
Yeah.
And same with, like, the two brothers. They do the circle, but that doesn't really come into play with Danny. Like,
and like, their gimmick of, you know, we are one person doesn't really play into the way they fight.
Yeah.
Like, they don't mirror each other, they don't, like, strike in the same way or, like, you know, play into each other's strikes. It doesn't feel like...
They didn't feel like he stabbed him or broke his arm or whatever, so the other one, you know, screamed, like, you know, why, you know, like, it wasn't even like they were super close, like they were trying to buy that. Like, yeah. They didn't feel like they liked each other too much.
Yeah.
They just felt they were two random cooks.
Like, it doesn't feel like they have a gimmick.
Yeah.
And for someone like them, especially because we're probably only going to see them here, like, you should really play into it. Whereas at least the other two fights play into a gimmick or an idea.
We should have seen more of Danny almost going outside the circle. We saw none of it. What was the point of it? It was just for them. They just made a circle that they themselves crawled out of.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Not cool. With the third guy, it seems like they're going to do something different with him, maybe. Like, the production design for him, like, consistently refers to him as a character called Dog Brother, who is a a really strong character in the comics. He's got some stuff where I don't know if we're gonna get into that later, so I don't want to touch on that.
Okay, sure.
But it seems like where they switched at some point and made him based on another character called Scythe, whose thing is he was hired by Harold Meacham to kill Danny. And he had like a chain scythe that he could use to like suck Danny's Iron Fist chi out and then use it himself.
Okay. But I hope they do more with them, because it did feel like they were building, like, that scene at the beginning kind of unanswered as to what the fuck was going on there.
Yeah, because it seems like he's an assassin, but also he's so much more like, you know, not stealthy. Like, he didn't do an assassination the way that the Hand assassinates.
Yeah, and the Hand just gave the ball to the karaoke person to give to him. So it's like, what the fuck was any of that? None of that makes sense. You know, right now, we need a retrospective. So I hope that he's also the Hand's strongest fighter, which, holy shit, what the, how the hell is he their strongest fighter? God damn.
That does not feel correct at all.
Does not feel, or maybe that it's not the Hand's strongest fighter, but here's our strongest fighters who aren't in the Hand.
Maybe, yeah. Because they all also do speak different languages.
Yeah.
Like, they make a very big point of showing that this is a multicultural group of assassins.
Yeah.
So it could, they could be playing into that. And, like, Gao specifically, like, you know, like, I mean, part of it is she wants to, you know, make Danny lose. But it also seems like she wanted to keep him alive.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, because she did add the stipulation on and everything.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah, this was, everybody was warning Danny at how dangerous it was going to be, and it was so much less dangerous than we thought. It was easy peasy. Like, even the final hostage negotiation, I thought that she meant, like, I'm either going to kill the child if you kill him, or I'm going to keep the child.
Right.
And it was like, no, I'm just going to give you the child if you let him go. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. Like, yeah, the Hand is way more honorable than I would think.
Yeah.
Considering they have child soldiers and they're raising the dead and this felt a little bit like unbelievable.
Yeah, like it feels like they're trying to soften the Hand and also harden up Kunlun.
Yeah.
Because of, the comment she made about how, like, Danny feels unlike the people that were there when she was there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that's why the Hand is a little lamer here.
Maybe.
I feel like they're going to do the, like, is the Hand accurate right? And they're not right, but, like, look at these assholes in Kunlun.
Yeah. I do like that they're going harder into the assholes in Kunlun, too. I thought they were going to go super light on that, and they're like, it's not really abuse, but I'm glad that we are not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ward, this episode, first off, got me. They got me with the jump scare of that, like, head and everything.
Oh,
I don't think I have been jump scared in the MCU yet. I think that might be my first MCU jump scare. I think it might be my first, like, non-Walking Dead jump scare.
Also, just Blanket's awesome for the acting that Ward's actor gives off in this episode. Like, throughout the series, but also this episode. Every time he does something new, whether it is, like, reacting to the severed head, like he's looking at a dead person's severed head, to, like, I hate it when, in any series, a severed head thing happens and people are mildly shocked, but they're like, ugh, oh no.
Yeah.
Whereas Ward is like, he feels like he is a pampered kid who hasn't seen anyone get hurt, and now there's an actual severed head in front of him. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I really appreciate it. And it also shows, like, he is so, like, it overwhelms his senses with how, like, absurd it is. But then he immediately goes, like, no, I'm not going to call the police. That's going to implicate Rand and everything like that. Like, it's such a good showing where his mind is at. Like, even when he is in these, like, pits of despair, he is still putting the company first.
Yeah.
Over his own self, over his own sanity. And so it really sells, like, the downward spiral and everything.
Yeah.
And, like, just that, everybody's acting like Danny is his job, which, like, I get that. It is ridiculous that everybody is acting like he is the owner of Danny and everything. And he's just like, why is this my job?
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah. But, yeah, as you said, the acting from him this episode was incredible. Like, as well as, like, it really sold how gone he was with the hand thing. Like, not just doing it, but that it didn't, like, that he was ignoring it. He was like, just like, all right, we're leaving now. And like, that level of, like, hurting himself so much, but the mental stuff is so much more at the forefront than even the physical pain of his hand. And jeez, that injury was just thinking about it.
So swollen.
Bad. I hate it. Very good visuals on that.
Like, I thought it was going to be as simple as, like, he walks out and, like, tries to buy the pills from someone. But, like, it was so direct, and it made so, like, little sense. Like, it showed how out of it he was.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was hyping himself up to go and steal them. Like, I thought he was gonna run in, grab them, run out, and everything. But, yeah. Like, damn. And yeah, we're really, like, going into, again, more of the like, we had the guy at the very beginning who died of an overdose, and now we have Ward, this extremely rich guy and everything like that, who is falling into the exact same position and everything like that. Like, I'm really glad the show is showing that it doesn't matter who you are. It's very easy to get, and sometimes it's even easier to get addicted to it when it's over the counter stuff. Or, I mean, that's not exactly what Ward is doing, but I'm sure that's what led him down there. I'm sure he started with over-the-counter stuff and then slowly started abusing that, and then more and more and more.
I'm really glad that we started off with the pills have been completely consistent, and then the heroin is what, pushes him over the edge. But he was, like, addicted to pills this whole time. Like, I was really worried when he did the heroin that this was going to be a, like, oh, you do heroin once and then you can't come back, and, like, if only he hadn't taken that heroin. But it was really just, like, a push too far.
Yeah. And even then, I think if they, I'm sure he's going to get addicted to the heroin, but to be fair, like it it's like the first time every time. That's where I thought we were going to go with it. I
Right.
thought he was going to go buy heroin, do it, and be like, this isn't the same. I need it, as good as that other stuff. And that's how he was going to get wrapped up into all that, even more so. Like, in a way different way than even just through the company, but now he's getting wrapped up into it through that. But, yeah, I think this, the fact that it is the pills that he is trying to still get rather than the heroin. And we don't know if he took the heroin. Like, we assume, but it could just be that he took all the pills.
True.
And then they affected him at that point. But yeah, like, it is 99% certain that he's taking the heroin.
Yeah.
But they're leaving it still vague a little bit.
Which I do like, because that also means I don't know how long, like, his battle with, like, opiates is going to last, / like, how far he's going to drop in what amount of time. Like, this could be a thing for the entire, like, rest of the series, or, like, he could be leading up to getting heroin for the rest of the series, or we could do that next episode.
I think it would be a great bookend if at the end of the series it is Danny helping Ward get, help, for getting off this addiction and everything, tying back into them just throwing him into the mental institute.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think that would be
I could definitely see that.
Excellent parallel there. Yeah. And, yeah, I'm just glad we're having these parallels with the homeless guy and the extremely rich Ward. Really helps.
Yeah.
To sell their message.
And it's just like the whole series has been so consistent. With the first episode, I was really worried that we're setting up a bunch of stuff that we wouldn't touch on again. And that has not been the case. Yeah. The only thing that feels weird is the bird.
Yeah, but even then, we're definitely still falling back up on that.
Yeah, I trust him.
We better get that bird. But yeah, got, more of Colleen and Claire this episode and stuff. Just doing the worst idea ever. I don't know what the logic of this plan was from Claire.
I get it. Because it is the, like, she has ins at this hospital, and she also knows the hospital physically.
Right, but, like, what are they gonna do at the hospital that she can't do? I guess, like, surgery?
Yeah.
But, like, still, it is... now we have the daughter, and we don't have the fucking dad.
Yeah.
Now what are we gonna do? Like, it's just... I get it, but... they have the, we didn't want this dead body on our hands. But it's also like, if you give him to the hospital and he dies, you're still going to have a dead body in your hands. Quote unquote. Like, they're still going to question you about it. They're still going to ask you a lot about it. And they're probably still going to now.
I guess the other thing is that because it was her hospital, she could outright say, like, treat this as a John Doe. Like, I don't have any, like, ID for this, and I want you to treat him like there's no way to find his ID.
Yeah.
Whereas with any other hospital, there's the danger of maybe they'll just, like, take him to the back and stab him because the hand run it.
I mean, the hand run, that's your general.
True.
But, yeah, it's just... It is... Yeah, I'm not going to blame him too much for it, but boy, that just plan fucked up everything.
Yeah.
Like, if they hadn't done that, we would be golden right now. But, nah, that one plan changed everything.
I guess the question is, what can they do differently next time?
Not bring him to a hospital. Like, honestly, him dying is better than him being brought to a hospital. Because then they might kill, Sabina and all that, like they said.
Right.
Like, yes, bringing him to a hospital might save his life, but overall, it is just the worst thing to do.
Okay.
He was fine with dying. It was not a thing where he was saying, bring me to a hospital, and we're saying, no, we can't bring you to a hospital.
Sure.
He is saying, don't bring me to a hospital. Don't bring him to a hospital.
Okay, fair.
When he starts saying bring him to a hospital, then you can bring him to a damn hospital. But,
okay.
We're trying to save both their lives here, and the best bet we have to do that is to not bring him to the hospital. But yeah, I'm not gonna get onto them too much about that. And like, Colleen, I understand what she's pushing for it a lot because she doesn't really know the full extent of it.
Right.
And if you have someone that keeps pushing you like that, then yeah, you're gonna at some point break and be like, okay, fine, let's do it.
Like, Claire's also the kind of person who can be told, like, hey, listen, don't take me to the hospital, or please perform surgery on me in your living room.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But yeah, if Colleen is there constantly, telling her the opposite, then I can see why she's going to do that.
Yeah.
Now, this episode is not a whole lot to talk about. We talked about everything.
Yeah. We see Danny's teacher, presumably.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, Thunderer was his name. I think that was only in the subtitles, but still, I don't care at this point.
It's fine.
It's fine. So, yeah, we get his teacher, who is real piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't sure where we were going throughout the episode. But yeah, I do like that we were going for a, Danny is trying to find this middle ground. He wants to have his humanity. He's not going to just give up everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if I have a lot to say about that, just that I appreciate that we are, not going for the, you have to push out everything. You have to be this hero that doesn't think about anything, blah, blah, blah. But I've talked about this to death with Matt and Stick.
Sure.
That it's like, I don't know what more I can say about it, because it's kind of the same dynamic.
Yeah, I appreciate the consistency. Like Stick is not from Kunlun, but he's, like, serving under the same ethos.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And we don't know if Stick's not from Kunlun. He seems like he's got some, superpowers, but he keeps saying he doesn't have superpowers. So maybe he's not from Kunlun, but from a different city in heaven or whatever. But highly doubt it, but not going to rule it out entirely.
Yeah, like, we do know that, like, presumably he is the child he was talking about in the backstory thing.
Yeah.
Like, the Hand attacked a city, killed everyone except for him, and then he went on to found his, like, organization.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that is one of the cities that, was not protected by someone, and that's why Kunlun now has the Iron Fist who protects their city,
What do you mean one of the cities that was not protected by someone?
Like
one of the cities of heaven?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I was on the same page.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Like, that is totally possible. I doubt it, but it's totally possible. Especially with how old Stick is. That 15-year gap is probably someone. It could have even been someone before Danny. Relevant to Stick, and like he still has ties to Kunlun, but was not from there or lived there or anything. But yeah, there's still plenty of stuff to do there.
Yeah.
But as far as Danny and his teacher, everything I say about Matt and Stick still applies.
Fair.
Yeah, this is a pretty short discussion for this one, but very straightforward episode.
Yeah.
Extremely straightforward. Yeah, we're not missing anything. I just want to make sure we're not missing anything. I just really like the dynamic between Danny and Ward as, like, this investigative duo. Like, they have that old buddy cop dynamic. I don't want to say buddy cop because that's not what I'm looking for.
Sure.
But, like, more so like an investigator or a detective duo. But it's not really a, catchy term for that, like buddy cop.
Yeah, like, you've got the stick in the mud and you have the wild card.
Yeah. You have the non-believer, you have the believer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels very much so like that, but to a, extreme, like, Ward knows about all this and just refuses to budge at all. And Danny knows the way Ward is, but refuses to, like, he still tries to convince him. He's not just doing this all on his own.
Go ahead.
Really quick, I appreciate that, even that said, Danny does have a very aggressive tone with Ward constantly.
Okay.
Like, he feels like if it ever gets too bad, he's just going to grab Ward by the throat and, like, listen to me,
Yeah.
Like, he is not like he is anymore. I like that he is so kind and nice with everybody, but then as soon as he's talking with Ward, he's like, all right, listen. Like, he doesn't try and, like, all right, listen, so I found it. He's like, listen, I found this thing. You're gonna fucking believe me. This is what we're doing. I really, really appreciate that.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? Do you remember?
That, in fact, we are, like, heavily following up on the video thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, last discussion... Yeah, last discussion...
What do you mean heavily following up on it?
Last discussion, it seemed like it was going... Like, we landed on a... Well, maybe this is sort of just the end for a bit. But this episode was a lot about, like, the fallout of it. And the fact that they need Danny to, like, make a statement.
Yeah, what is that different about from the last discussion? Like, that's what I said.
Okay, I guess just that, like, it seems like that is the Rand's, like, storyline right now. Like, separate from Ward. Like, that... And so I'm curious to see, like, what we're gonna do with that, because it seems like the obvious answer is just Danny gets in front of an audience and says, yeah, I meant it.
Yeah, like, I don't know what... I feel like everything I said from last episode is still relevant to, what is going on with it. That what we're going to be doing in this plot line is, they took the video, we are saying we are not settling, and so we are not settling. We are instead doing this crisis management division and everything like that. Danny's gonna have to do a whole speech saying, "Yeah, I meant it," or not that he meant it, but that or Danny's probably not gonna do a speech or anything like that. They're just finding other ways to go about it. Instead of Danny saying, "Yeah, I meant it," they're just going to lean into the bad press of it and everything.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I said last time.
Yeah, I feel like they might not let Danny talk about it. They might just like put him in a box or something.
Maybe. But yeah, I still stick with what I said last time. I don't think that the lawyer is going to do anything else, and I don't think the people involved in the video are going to be doing anything else.
All right.
You know? Yeah, that was my stance.
Yeah, because we have a crisis management team, like someone separate from Rand working on this, I feel like it's going to get more complicated.
Okay, it could.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could definitely get more complicated. I'm not saying it's not. Just that I don't think the lawyer is going to be doing something, extra skeevy. I don't think the, people are going to be doing anything extra skeevy or anything like. I just don't think we're going to be seeing, anything of them aside from like epilogue kind of stuff or like, normal stuff. As I said, all this feels normal.
Okay.
The only thing that doesn't feel normal is the fact that video has more views than
the Hulk.
No, not the Hulk. The Incredible Green Guy.
Yeah. Incredible Green Guy.
It took. I had like such a like. Who are they talking? Oh, they're talking to Hulk. Wait, are they talking to the Hulk? Okay, I guess they're talking about the Hulk.
Yeah.
No one is gonna use Incredible to describe the Hulk. Like maybe in the future, like after Endgame and stuff like that. But like at this point in time in the MCU, nobody's calling Hulk Incredible.
Right. It's
they're big or green is even one of the like. Why does everybody jump to green?
I mean, he's very big and green.
I guess, but yeah, big giant monster. But yeah, like leaving out the big is why there's so many green people. But yeah, the fact that video has under 6 million views, and this video, which has been uploaded in like it's been up for like a couple days, has 6 million views, is wild.
I mean, it's consistent.
It is that has been the one thing that has sold me on the MCU's universe more than anything else in the world. Like, that has solidified.
Yeah.
People in this universe have a supernatural uncaring towards the supernatural.
Oh, yeah.
I am not convinced that there is not a giant devil in the center of the earth just mind controlling everybody in this universe. But yeah, it is wild that, like, people are more interested in a CEO being nice than they are any, amount of supernatural powers. And I do think this video would get a hell of a lot of views. 6 million? Maybe.
Yeah.
Would the Hulk get less views than this? Which has been around for years.
Yeah.
Assuming it's the original upload, too. Like, it's not like, it's a re-upload, that's why it has less views or whatever. We're not doing that sort of shit.
Yeah. Like, the intent of the scene is clearly this is bigger than the Hulk.
Yeah. So, that is absolutely sold me. People in this universe just do not care about superpowers, about superheroes, about anything like that. It's weird because they have a lot of merch, and I don't understand that. I don't know why they have merch when people don't care about them.
It's casual merch.
Sure.
Like, in the same way that they have, like, the Thor masks, but the Thor mask is very, like, cartoony and very comic-inspired.
I guess, yeah.
It doesn't look like the MCU Thor.
Yeah, it is pretty shitty and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something that I don't think I will ever be able to fully, like, get on board. I hate it. I hate how unrealistic every single person in this universe is, but it's something I'm just going to have to buy.
That's just how it is.
That's just how it is. People do not care about special powers. You can just have fire in your hands and just go, and somebody's going to go, I don't care. It's not as impressive as taxes.
It's a party trick. There's a dude in Hong Kong who does that.
Yeah. And yeah, it's not even like a, there's so many people with powers in the world, it's not that interesting. Or, alien invasions happen so often, it's not that interesting. It's just like, by the second alien invasion, people do not care. By the first one, people really didn't care.
Yeah.
People do not care about the Chari invasion. They just don't give a shit. They do not care.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're done. We're done. So, see you guys for the next one. Until then, get the fuck out of here.